Hey guys, and it's Flight Sim Today here. I just want to say thank you for watching this video. The content you're about to watch was taken originally from Airline to Sim, who are no longer training. You cannot even get this program anymore. It's gone. Originally £40, it was an in-depth and really good resource for the A320, which is still relevant today if you're using the Phoenix program. Originally hosted by Ben, and they had a guy called James who was a real airline A320 pilot. I will be taking the 27 episodes where possible, snipping them up into much smaller chunks, making it easier for you to digest, and maybe you don't want to learn one thing but learn another. So if that's your thing, please do subscribe so that you can keep up to date with all the new videos that will be coming out over the coming weeks and related to this.
Very much so.
Right, okay, now we're nearly there. Let's go and talk about the electric page. The nice thing with the Airbus is that none of the panels are that big.
No,
really.
they're great, and they're really well organised, I think.
Yeah, in like an hour, we've almost done most of the flight deck, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've already talked about the batteries. That's pretty straightforward. We've got a few of the buttons that I think are worth talking about. External power, I think we all know what that is. Big power cable, plugs into the outside,
exactly,
like a big giant battery charger.
Yeah.
And that's it. Is the aeroplane, we've now started the APU. What's powering the aeroplane, the external power or the APU?
This is what was interesting, because remember we looked at the APU before and it said 0% load.
Yeah, so if we look down, it's still on the doors page right now, but if I bring up the APU page, it says 0.
Yeah, so at the moment, the external power is supplying the entire electrical system for the aircraft. Yeah.
And is it in a kind of hierarchy? It goes, there's no engines.
No,
presumably.
exactly. Yeah, so the hierarchy would go engines at first. There aren't any, so it's not using it. Then, interestingly enough, it goes APU and then external. But if you select the external power on, like we have done
First,
yeah. So you can select it at any point. So even if you, for example, if you do an APU only start, so we start it first, that will obviously use that as a generator. But then if we selected the external power, it would override it because we've asked for it on. We push the button and say we want it.
Okay.
So it breaks the hierarchy.
So we got the APU on, so I could turn the external power off now.
Yep, just turn it off.
Right, and we hear that big chunk.
Yep.
What's that big chunk noise?
So behind us in the flight deck, we have things called generator line contactors, and they're big switches basically. And they go click and they open. So it's disconnected the external power and it just connected the APU generator.
So the APU generator is now...
Yeah.
So where before it said 0%,
yeah,
it's now saying 20.
Because now it's running the electrical system, yeah.
Okay.
And this is why it's using its hierarchy now. So it's saying, are there any engines? No. Is there an APU? Yes. So it's using the APU. Is there an external power? Yes, but it's not selected, so I'm not going to use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in theory, if I now turn the external power back on...
Yeah.
Even though the APU is higher in the hierarchy than the external power, what will it do? It will now go back to external power because we've asked it to.
That's what it is, because it basically sees it as it says avail. So it's telling you, hey, it's available, but it's not going to use it. You've pressed it, so now it's going to go, oh, because you've pressed it, you obviously want it. So then it's going to override the hierarchy order. And now then disconnect the APU.
So, okay, right, I've got you. Okay, so the APU is now avail again, but it's back to 0% load.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. So basically that's how it works. It works in a kind of hierarchical order.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is the primary time you use this is, when you want to disconnect the external power, you just press the button. It automatically connects the APU. You don't have to manually select those generators on.
Okay, so like in a 737, you've got to manually configure this yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. Same with, when you do an engine start, it will automatically go click and the generator will come on, click, and then it will leave the APU sitting there not running the electrical system, so you can just turn it off.
Okay, all right, perfect. Is there any point in leaving, is there any benefit in leaving the external power and the APU running together? Does that help anything?
It does, because, we were saying that it's a little jet engine in the tail. Now, if you make it run the electrical system as well as the air conditioning system, it has to work a bit harder. So it can't dedicate as much of its performance to cooling.
Okay.
So if you leave the external power connected, as we've shown, it has a 0% load on its generator.
Yeah, of course. So it's all it's doing is air.
Yeah, so then it can do more of that.
Okay, all right. So again, really super hot day.
Yeah.
Leave the external power on and run the APU, you'll get cooler air.
That's
more air.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's talk. I'm guessing some of these are kind of bad day. The IDG switches bad day switches.
They are, definitely.
We will come back to the generator 1 and 2. Is the generator? Does each engine have a generator?
That's right. Each engine has its own engine-driven generator for the electrical system, and that's what we can see there: Gen 1 and Gen 2. Okay,
all right. And the moment it says fault because the engines are not producing.
That's correct. Yeah.
Any electricity.
Yeah.
So as well as driving and thrusting the airplane through the sky, they also generate electricity to run the lights and everything else.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And at the moment they're not doing that.
They're not doing that, so they're saying fault because I'm not doing that.
Right. Okay. And then the APU GEN. At the moment, the APU generator, the light is out because the APU generator is switched on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's a bit one of the APU GEN button here looks quite normal, but it is a bad day switch because realistically, because we just proved how you can connect, reconnect, all this sort of stuff without having to press it. There's no reason why you'd ever press that.
So we don't really need the APU GEN switch.
No.
So at the moment the external power's on.
Yeah.
So turning the APU GEN off isn't going to do anything right now.
No.
Except it's going to put all the load. No, actually, because we're not using the electricity from the APU.
Yeah. So if you did this, if you press that, technically nothing should happen.
So we've turned it off.
Nothing's happened.
And nothing's happened.
Yeah.
Because.
See, it says APU GEN off.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So nothing's changed?
No.
Right, okay. Is the APU still giving us bleed air at this point?
It is. Yeah, It's just turned the generator aspect of that off.
So you got to think about the APU in there's like two systems effectively. There's like the air side and the electric side.
And that's all it does.
And all we've done is we just turned off the electric side.
That's it, yeah.
So to turn off the air side, we would have to turn off the APU bleed.
That's correct.
Right? So now if we turn the bleed off,
it's just sitting there.
The sound goes. So the APU is still running, but it's not doing anything now.
It's just running to run itself.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's turn the bleed on. So the APU bleed is the air.
Yep.
And the APU GEN is the electricity.
Exactly.
Got you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay. So let's just finish off this page then. We've got commercial and galley over on the left-hand side there. What's this doing?
Yeah, so they're customer options as well. Not all the aircraft will have these, but what they're for is commercial is like the in-flight entertainment stuff. So if you need to turn that off, and you might need to turn that off. You know, when we were saying about that emergency electrical configuration where we sort of got a bad fire or whatever, you might want to try and work out, hey, is it the in-flight entertainment?
Because this has brought down the Swissair MD-11 was brought down because the IFE caught fire.
Yeah, so this is why this button would turn that all off and isolate it and stop the fire from spreading any more than it already has done. Okay. Galley and cabin, it's just basically the electrics to the galley.
Right.
So the cookers and the ovens and all
that. So we want to make sure, so if that's switched off, we're not going to, with no coffee.
No, that's very important.
Well, I remember Myron saying in the 777, because that obviously has, external power 1 and external power 2.
Oh, that's interesting.
And sometimes it will shed, one of them. If there's a more important system, it will shed. And the first thing it sheds is the galleys, because it goes, you don't need coffee. So, but that doesn't happen in the Airbus.
It can do. If it gets into an emergency electrical sort of issue where it's worrying about issues, it will shed itself.
Okay.
And that's why if you look, the commercial has off written on it, and then the galley and cabin has auto and off. So it will automatically shed it if it needs to, or we can turn it off.
So interestingly, it could shed itself.
Yeah.
So it's saying, okay, I need electricity. So you know what? I'm going to shut off the galley because I can use this for something else. But that's a bad day.
That's a bad day. But also, interestingly, it can't do that for commercial.
Yeah.
So it will
always leave those on.
There'll be no ovens, but there'll be guys sitting there watching stuff on there
Despicable
going, we are on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay, great.
I would think that comes from the fact that the commercial stuff is an add-on. Think about this came from the 80s.
Yeah, of course.
That in-flight entertainment wasn't a thing, but the galley was most definitely still a thing.
Of course, the galley was there, but the in-flight entertainment probably wasn't back then.
So that's why it's probably like that.
All right. Couple of other little switches that we've not covered yet. The bus tie in the middle.
Yeah.
When would we need to... let's just have a real quick explanation of what a bus is. Is the bus like an electrical system, or are there different buses? The bus is what carries it.
Yeah.
All the systems get their electricity from that bus.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
And we have multiple buses on there. So that's where we've got the DC bus 1 and 2, and you can see AC bus 1 and 2 drawn on the overhead, just so it makes it easy to see where the power is going.
Okay. And then what does the bus tie do?
So if you think of the bus tie, the systems are connected together on the left and the right, but there might be a scenario where one side is damaged or it's making the other side not work properly. So if you click that, it separates the systems.
Okay.
So that's why it's called a bus tie. So it ties them together automatically, so that's why it's in auto, so it can brake the tie as well, but sometimes you might need to do that manually.
Okay, all right. But is that generally a bad day switch?
It's definitely a bad day switch.
Right, okay. Yeah. And then over on the right-hand side, we've got that AC ESS feed. That, again, looks like a bad day switch.
It is, and it's a bit of an interesting one, actually, because you can see there's the AC Essential bus. Now, the AC Essential bus is...
Is that what it means, ESS, essential?
Yeah, essential, yeah. And obviously, clues in the name, it's essential stuff. So it's when you're having a real bad day, you really need that bus. Now, we can see from just the diagram on the overhead, it's normally powered by AC Bus 1.
Yeah.
So you can see the green arrow goes in there, but it can be supplied by AC Bus 2.
Okay.
So if AC Bus 1 fails, it should, and this is a customer option, depends on the type and spec that you have, automatically go with AC Bus 2. But if it doesn't, you have to press that button. And when you press it, it doesn't say on, it says alternate. So it's saying, I'm now using the alternate AC bus to power my AC Essential bus.
Gotcha.